Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our Principles of Management class. Today we're covering Chapter 10, and we're looking at how to manage teams. Okay, let us begin by looking at some basic concept of what should look like, good or bad, in terms of the advantages of team, disadvantages of teams, and when to use and not use teams. Typically, there's the statement usually for advantages, customer satisfaction, product and services qualities improve, speed and efficiency of product development, employee satisfaction, user team, decision making, typically faster, but you also get more perspective, alternative solution, and a commitment to the decision process. There are some disadvantages of teams, basically. So there's where you have initially high employee turnover, social loafing. We'll dive deeper into that. Groupthink, minority domination, inefficient meeting, and lack of accountability. So we'll take a deep dive into some of those through as we go. So when to use Steam, typically the idea is basically when there's a clear reason for doing it, the job can be done, uh, ample resources, and then don't use them when those things are not there. Do's and don'ts. Uh, so there are kinds of teams. Um, how team differ in terms of autonomy and special kinds of teams. We're looking at those things. Do you have full autonomy to work and do what you want? And then we might have special kinds of teams. So there are cross-functional teams, special kinds, virtual team, project teams. Typically, the idea is when we look at and talk about cross-functional teams, is selecting people from different parts of the organization, probably different divisions, to work on a project or work on something, basically. So employed from different functional area to look at how to attack a problem with multiple perspective, generate lots of ideas throughout the process. Basically, project team, you're working on a project. That's it. Pull together people to work on the project. Typically, again, in these cases like these, you probably go cross-functional team to get different perspective, different ideas, different way of solving that problem, get the project done on time. So that might help a lot with flexibility and speed, managing work teams. So they're looking at a few characteristics right here, basically, typically five, where we're talking about team norms, cohesiveness, size, conflict, development. And the basic concept is to think about what is the team norm. So this is this idea of we're agreeing on a few things, behavior, ways we're going to work, all those things that will basically manage the team. Um, so there's some idea of thinking of powerful influence on work behavior, regulate the everyday behavior of teams. So the team norm, document a piece, something you write on a piece of paper, email it out, and you should agree on a couple of things, right? How are we going to behave on a day-to-day basis? What are some of the things that we're going to govern ourselves by? Standards we're going to go agree on, and these will like make up the team norms. In terms of the cohesiveness, how are we going to behave? How are we going to keep the team together? So we're going to retain member, promote cooperation, high levels of performance. So you want really, this is the reason why we want it, right? High levels of performance. So the extent to which members are working together, motivate to get things done. So there are some ways you can look at promoting team cohesion, make sure all the team members are present, meeting, make employees feel that they're part of this project, engage in non-work activities as a team, so you can go out, play some pickleball or something of the sort. Team size typically 6 to 9 members, no more, but definitely less. Just to think about that to get optimal team size to manage well and work together and find common grounds. Team conflict usually You can have team conflicts. Typically, there's a, what we call the C-type conflict, where people are disagreeing with each other based on a set of principles or rules, or the problem or the issues. They just like, okay, this is what I'm disagreeing with. Versus A-type problem conflict, where people are disagreeing with you because of who you are, um, pretty emotional is who you are. They don't really like you, um, your background, wherever, whatever the case may be. And what you'll find is in most both types of conflicts can occur simultaneously. So it's imperative, or it's important, to be looking out for these and see how best you can address them. So they're walking through some, team go through a process of stages, lots of things going on before they get to a point of resolution and working together. So here are some team stages that you should basically look at, and you can see uh, normally distributive curve. So what goes up comes down. So the stages are forming, storming, norming, performing. So basically, it's the start the team. There's some argument, disagreement, dislikes, all these things. Work them out. Start normalizing. People start working together. People start getting a better sense of how to work together, what people like, don't dislike, and hopefully this works out extremely well. And you get to the point where they're performing extremely well now. And if this does not happen, then you start getting the case where it's denorming, de-storming, deforming. So it's basically going down if this doesn't happen, or it takes too long to happen, or something of the sort. So we think about enhancing work team effectiveness, setting team goals and priorities, selecting team members, team compensation, team training. So we're trying to think about these things in general. If we can get these four things right, we can have an effective work environment, or work team environment. So we try to set goals, basically think about the goals, making sure that the goals is in line with performance, but it's also with enhanced performance. Think of the clarity of the goal, make it challenging enough, but at least at the same time, workers can get it done. They can get it done. Um, think of how much autonomy they have, the degree that they have to basically do the work, get the work done. Selecting the right people for the team, basically. So think of people in three categories: team diversity, team level, and individualism versus collectivism. Because these three things can play a major role also, because if someone is really just like to work by themselves, it might be a good situation where you don't necessarily put them on the team, but they can be an advisor or something in that regard. But be mindful and just say, okay, fine, we're not going to put this person on the team. Then you have team training, interpersonal skills, all of those skills that's required, decision making skills and problem solving skills, conflict skills. Then you have technical training skills, and training some of the team leaders to be leaders. Again, this is might be a case where you're preparing this person to step into leadership roles. They can, if you select this person, then they can start training. So we can go through all of these different trainings with the team. Then compensation and recognition. Try to find the right level of reward system that works for the team. There, Carter's book, they have three methods of compensation: skill based, gain sharing, and non financial rewards. Try finding the right, again, remember, this is not your salary that you are getting paid. This is potentially you working on a team separately, and you might have a separate compensation for working on the team. So the idea is to look at what this looks like, and they have this chart, this graph, pie chart, so to speak, that basically kind of give you some indication of what managers prefer, basically some preference. I might disagree with this a little bit, but yeah, it probably works. So that covers. Probably you guys have your own opinion on this in terms of what this chart look like, this pie chart look like. Basically, we'd love to hear your point of view at some point. Put out a poll and get some feedback. Um, okay, great. So that covers chapter 10. Um, Thank you so much for joining our session today on Principles of Management, chapter 10, where we're looking at how to make teamwork effectively. We will talk again pretty soon. Look forward to hearing your comments and message and feedback from me. Thank you and have a great day.